Welcome back, folks, to World of Warships Legends. I'm Soopa-Dave, and today's build and play guide is on Gorizia. I'm not sure how to pronounce that, but I like it. It's a good ship. All right, let's talk about it. We're using AL Zara. It is an SAP ship. You could 100% use Sanzanetti or Membelli, whatever you normally do, but because it's a premium ship, we use and it does have SAP, we're going to use Zara with Arthur Secold and Membelli because this does have fighter planes like a lot of the Italians, and you can't really change them. So for base or for her skills, we are using Beyond Range, Indarvius Intrepida, Fortified, Fixated, and Fully Packed for the extra smoke and sonar. That being said, guys, I am not feeling the best, so bear with me on this if I make a mistake. For your modifications, we're using aiming systems, propulsion mod, and concealment as always. And in this slot here is to get the SAP. And, it's Italian, so SAP makes it unique. Also, the HE on this thing is not very good. I did try it. It's not wonderful. It's better than most of the HE. It feels better than most of the HE on the rest of the line, or in the rest of the Italian cruisers, but still not good, right? So, exhaust smoke generator, or you could take defensive AA. I wouldn't take the defensive AA on this, it doesn't have any. And sonars that do come in handy very much when getting rid of destroyers. Catapult fighters, you have four of them. And with Arthas, it does help your damage on this build. And for survivability, it's about 38,000 health. Pretty decent overall. The guns, and this is actually something that caught me off guard. I know it's a heavy cruiser, but I did not expect the AP to be this good. And I am a person that does think AP on Italians, when it does hit, is pretty good. This is actually a ship I use AP more than I do the SAP, believe it or not. They're both fantastic. In fact, I have a clip for you right here that I'll put in showcasing both. As you can see, we have AP loaded on this cruiser. Now, granted, it's a cruiser at 5 kilometers away. We only do hit 4 shells, but almost dev strike them. Had we had any more shells hit, probably would have. And we caught, now we've also caught the cruiser off guard. We're going to switch to SAP now. And here to show you, see how good the SAP is. It's like the rest of the Italian cruisers. When you see a destroyer, they're pretty much gone as we completely dev strike this destroyer. That being said, I am a person that leans a little bit more on AP on the ship, being a heavy cruiser at tier 6. You catch a lot of people. If you're playing at tier 7, if you're in a tier 7 match, the SAP is probably going to be more handy. And if you're playing at 6 or 5, the AP is probably going to be more handy. There's a lot more superstructure and things the SAP comes in a little bit handier for at tier 7 and some of 6. But very good guns, and you can absolutely wreck people with them. Defensive AA, it doesn't really have much. I've only had one carrier match, and I think I may have shot down like one plane with it, maybe. I haven't really got focused by it either, but you only have some at 4 kilometers, and then the next is at 1.2 and 2 kilometers, so not really what you want for AA. Maneuverability 33 knots, 580 turning circle, and 9.8. Not bad, pretty average in my book. Concealment is really solid. We're not even building into concealment, and it's 9.4. You can make this thing really friggin' stealthy if you wanted to. It might even hit the high 7s if you fully built into detection. I'm not sure on that, but definitely a way that could be gone too to get rid of destroyers. And this thing can do it. Obviously, for stats, I've been trying out a couple builds. I did the HE build one time. Um, it's definitely a good ship. It's much better when you lean into the AP, being a heavy cruiser. But overall, 70% or 78,000 damage At tier 6 on a cruiser, that's not bad. A potential damage 6,000. You got to be careful on this ship. I'll show you the armor here in a second. Main gun accuracy, it's not too bad. Once in a while, these will troll you, however, as you saw in that clip where I only hit 4 shells on a cruiser 5 kilometers away. But you know, once in a while they troll you, but most of the time this is a real good, pretty accurate for the most part. Like I said though, I play Italian cruisers pretty aggressive. Most people don't, and that's also a little bit on your accuracy there. That being said, here is the armor, and that is a little disappointing. This is probably the biggest weakness of the ship. Is a 16 millimeter bow and stern, making this kind of a glass citadel. So what do I mean by that? Pretty much everything is overmatchable on this ship, but the actual citadel itself. There's a little bit of the upper side plating that you can bounce shells off of, but I wouldn't trust it. And the reason why is everything on your bow and stern gets overmatched, right? So anything that's over normal heavy cruiser, so Cheshire and bigger, every battleship that you will come across will overmatch you. And the reason that's an issue is this is a giant citadel on this thing, and it is wider than a lot of cruisers, meaning you're not going to overpin on this thing. Like when you get hit, you know you get hit in this ship, and you got to be careful. And I know it sounds crazy because you do have this side plating here. You can bounce shells off, but man, I wouldn't rely on bouncing shells off your citadel. You can if you're careful, but man, that's the one weakness of the ship is armor isn't crazy great. As we start the match, it's disclaimer time. This is a beginner's video meant to help people new to the ship or new to the game. This is not meant for professional gamers that know everything there is to know about everything in the universe. There are multiple ways to play and build this ship, and I am an above average player, not the world's best. I make mistakes. You may see one in this match. You didn't come here for pronunciations. I'm as good as anybody at slaughtering beautiful languages all the time. We are on hotspot, and I do like this ship a lot, guys, and we're going to try to get ourselves in a position right away. We don't know necessarily where the destroyer is, but we're going to try to get rid of a destroyer. Obviously, it's my main goal and everything. We're going to sneak up to this island. When we get the chance, we're going to pop out and strike. That's kind of what I do in these things. And then I use my smoke to get away and then try to get another one. As you can see, we have SAP loaded. And now you're going to see here a Poltava, kind of a rough ship to try to shoot the SAP on. As you're going to see here, we're not going to get much off of him. To be honest, he's out at range, and you know, Poltava, it's not like a ship with a ton of superstructure, and it's pretty heavily armored for what it is, right? You can see we're shattering a lot on Poltava. But right now, he's the only thing to shoot at, and you're going to see here, we use this smoke to make sure we don't get spotted. While we're kind of broadside, and we're trying to get ourselves back to this island in a better position here. And you can see here we go to shoot. We're going to switch over to AP, and I'm spotted, meaning the destroyer's right there. And sadly, I'm going to stay here to try to get a shot on him. I'm not going to get a shot on him, though. I was hoping this destroyer made the mistake of getting near me, because I would have... Obviously, with the SAP on this, as I load it, hoping that I get a shot on him. The SAP is awesome at getting rid of destroyers. This is going to be kind of a showcase of just a war. This match is going to be crazy, and it's going to come down to the wire. And my team is going to be not the best team I've ever played with, to put it lightly. But we're not going to focus on like calling out teammates or stuff. We're just, you know, sometimes, especially at tier 5 and 6, you're going to have sometimes where your teams aren't suitable to you in the best. That's okay. We're going to make some mistakes. But this is going to be a really fun match. And again, you can see I'm shattering on a lot of these tier 5 battleships that have a little bit better armor. Now, Dallas just isn't paying attention to me at all. And we are absolutely going to make this guy pay. That was back guns only. Like I said, if I had front guns, probably a depth strike. And our cruiser buddy there is in a little bit of a world of hurt, so we're trying to help him. The Devonshire. Now he's going to do something absolutely crazy. He's going to go ahead and basically lose all his health to this guy to get some torps off. But with Bayern there, you can see we're going to do a good chunk of damage there. And, you know, with Bayern, you can see we have more superstructure to work with. And a little bit, because Bayern is a little less armored here. As you can see, he gets hit. But we can see we were taking a pretty good chunk out of him. But our cruiser does get a dev strike. But he is going to go down because he did lose all his health. Our Fubuki does actually get rid of the other destroyer. Outside of that, I think that might be the last thing he does productive for our team, to be honest with you, because he's going to go, and I don't know what he's going to do after this. But you can see we have a pretty good advantage right now, right? It is, you know, we're up right now, 7 ships to 5. So, and you know. And we have the points. This should be pretty good, right? We'll see. You know, our team's going to really try to lose this match. We see the Eastern Dragon. I instantly load AP, right? We just got rid of a cruiser. You know, or help get rid of a cruiser real quick with AP. And that's what I wanted to showcase as well in this match. It's kind of switching between both of them. So we don't have a destroyer to shoot at, and that kind of bites a big one for me, because that's like my favorite thing to do in Italian cruisers, in any ship, but particularly Italian cruisers, because I'll be honest, they're really good at it. So, but we're going to move in here. Our team has not got the cap, and I want to try to get crossfire on all these guys. So we're going to come out. We're going to wait to shoot, because Eastern Dragon's going to go broadside like he did, and we are going to hit him relatively hard. Right? So, boom. There we go. The fact that he's alive is pretty astounding. But anyway, we are doing ourselves pretty well so far. So we're going to go ahead, smoke up in this gap, because there's a lot of stuff that can shoot me now and crossfire me. Help get the cap, and then we need to help move on, right? Like, we gotta push and get crossfires. I want to get behind this cap. We know there's probably nobody there. And if there is anybody there, there's a carrier. And we do have to get rid of the carrier if we see him, because we don't have the world's best AA. Now, when I smoke up, I didn't realize I was only one spotting something, because, you know, our one battleship is behind the island, and our destroyer was kind of behind an island as well. So, again, you can see the tide has changed a little bit, and I am trying to make my way as quick as I can. I should have probably stayed undetected there, but I wanted to help work on Poltava. We get a little bit of a salvo. We sneak up to the Furious here, and we're going to go ahead and try to get rid of this, the aircraft carrier, before it goes bad on us, right? So if he decides to focus me, it could be real rough. But so we're going to push out and try to kill this guy. I'll be honest here. This shot, you see now he's spotted again. This shot, I thought he was going to be dead. Okay. Turns out I overpinned and only 4 shells hit. So once in a while, these guns troll. Right? Only 4 of our shells hit a giant aircraft carrier at 4 kilometers. So then I thought, well, for sure this one will do it. And we get all shells to hit, but we get a little bit unlucky with our citadels, and I have overextended now. I thought that he was going to be dead. I wasn't going to be spotted. and I would have been able to go dark because we only have a 9-4. So that Fuso wouldn't have been able to see me, right? But because I didn't do a good job at getting rid of that carrier, Fuso can see me, and he can absolutely smash me through the bow, right? So, not good. I'm in a bad position here, and I don't have a smoke. This is kind of on me here. And you can see that Fuso has taken basically all of my health now that I had left, as we are going to back up and try to hit him a little bit while we can. But again, we are now down on ships, or we are down now on caps. So I realize real quick I have to come out and I have to get the A cap because our destroyer is, I think, trying to torp everybody. I'm not sure. In the middle of both the caps that are not ours. Probably not an ideal play. Probably should have grabbed one of the caps, right? But we're out now. We're not spotted yet. Right before we shoot our guns, we're going to go ahead and use our smoke again to stay undetected because I don't have the world's most health. I get hit one time. You know, we have less than 10,000 health. That's any battleship Citadel hits us, we're dead. It only takes one shell, so it's not something you can play around with, right? But we don't have much of an option here. We're going to try to stay unspotted and undetected and try to get rid of Fuso. And be very careful here. Now, very quietly, in this match, we've actually already got 11 Citadels in a cruiser, which is pretty solid. Especially in a cruiser that I'm guessing a lot of people don't recognize AP is that good, and they're probably using SAP on this thing, which the SAP is just fine, but you can see the AP is fantastic when given the correct opportunities. And we're going to go ahead. We're going to keep ourselves unspotted. And because the destroyer's behind the island too, part of me is also trying to spot a little bit here for our battleship because you know, the Fuso probably isn't going to get spotted here in a second otherwise. So you can see I am working on getting to the A cap. So obviously not the world's fastest cruiser, but still we're doing that. And if I shoot my guns off here, it could be bad, right? So we got to be careful. So, but our team has done crazy stuff here. Like our California here and I believe it's an Italian battleship to my left. You know, they have a lot of health, and we obviously need to do something here. We're not in a good position. We can't be dumb, but obviously that dragon that I absolutely smashed is still alive, and I'm trying to save my destroyer, so I do shoot my guns off, but it doesn't save our destroyer. And we do get a couple shells on him. As you can see here, we get 2 overpins, so he has like 0 health left, and I really want one of our battleships to shoot this guy. You're going to see me call him out. Hey, get rid of him. That's 3 points for us before he goes and we'll never see him again, right? Right here you can see I can't lob the mountain, but we're going to work on getting into the cap. And this is kind of when I realize the situation's even worse than what I think. Because now we're down 100 points. The ships are even, and I'm doing my best, right? This is about the best we can do. Now, I'm going to load AP because the dragon is so low that if he comes around the corner and he's angled to me, I don't want my AP to not do anything, right? The SAP will be consistent. I'll be able to get pens on him and he will be able to kill him. Now, that being said, Normandy shows himself and I have to start helping my team. So, like, I would love to stay dark, make sure I get this cap and not die, but I don't have much choice here. My hand is kind of forced. And we're going to go ahead and try to shoot at Normandy and get behind this island so we can go unspotted and work our way to that cruiser, because I'm afraid that cruiser is going to get away, obviously. So we're going to go ahead and keep shooting. We're going to make sure we get the cap here. I was actually hoping the cruiser kind of rushed me, but you're going to see here he gets spotted on the map right there behind the island. So now I realize I have to go get this guy. And now it's real bad because now we need to get 2 ships. So we're going to try to catch this. Catch the dragon cruiser that's behind the island off guard. But then there is a Poltava here. And this is real bad news for me. And I was hoping our California that was left was going to go to the middle of the map so we could shoot multiple targets. Like, we have Poltava that he can shoot. Obviously, the cruiser's in the middle. And there is a Normandy still out there. But he is going to come to hide behind this mountain. All right. So I realize this is completely up to me to come around the mountain corner and do the best that we can here. I almost wish I had saved a smoke for this opportune moment. We do have SAP loaded. We're actually going to shoot Poltava. And we're going to try to make ourselves skinny. But you see, we did hurt him. And we did get some rounds off of our belt. So I'm trying not to, because Poltava is an actual accurate rushing battleship. I'm trying to use my belt to bounce shells. You can see that I am doing that, but I don't have a lot of health to be going toe-to-toe with this battleship. And right here, because he's getting close in, we're going to switch to AP, and there is the cruiser, and our battleship is hiding behind the mountain, so there's not much he can do here. So I'm going to try to shoot the bow, because it's probably not saturated, of the Poltava, and we almost kill him here. And we put out the fire, 1,000 health left. We're going to make the turn to get our back turrets on, and I do not get the shot off. I outturn my turrets. And we are going to lose this match. But I put as much effort as I could into this match. Obviously, the play at the end, there's not much more I could do. I had to charge in to try to get a couple kills. This doesn't really have the armor for it. But we end up with a decent game. This would have been almost a 3,000 base damage game had we won. But we really did do our best to try to help our team win. I like the ship. Anyway, you guys have a wonderful day. I will see you next time, folks. Have a good one.